recording. Excellent. The other thing too I noticed since I take these, post them to YouTube, is the like, comment, subscribe thing. Not really sure how I'm gonna roll with that. Just because I always think it's funny to hear people like, comment, subscribe. And I often use it in a ironic sense, especially whenever I'm out doing my day job. After giving a presentation, I always say like, comment, sub, and everyone gets a kick out of that, especially in the health and safety industry. So I just wanted to introduce that topic. A couple of things too, what I've learned. So anyone out there, since this one of the primary focus of this entire stream is to help motivate people, inspire them, get them going. You know, if they have dreams of being a content creator, this is for you. If you have dreams of doing something bigger than you've ever thought before, it's also for you. And so a lot of that comes with learning. A few things I've learned, how to do some transitions. So, boom. It's not going to be a weird, like, strict cut that kind of has no flow to it. So I've worked on that. Tried getting an overlay. Figured out that you got to do a lot of more work than just installing it. So that's another thing I learned. Outside of that, I'm still focusing on getting some of that content, working on cutting content. Learned a little bit about Twitch clips and then how you can kind of turn those into shorts. That'll be coming soon to the YouTube channel. Other thing too, actually setting out a script type thing, at least some points, because I know sometimes I can get a little off track, especially when gaming. And then just getting better at having some control and having something more prepared. So usually, just like a little behind the scenes, on one of my monitors I have kind of some key points that I've broken down over the years. So I have about 600 plus Word document pages of takeaways from different books and things I've listened to in the past 4 years. So I realized I had a whole bunch of content that I could easily pull from. Just had to organize it. So I've gotten better at organizing it into some coherent scripts. Not even necessarily scripts, but like key points, and then putting that into like an overall video flow. So hopefully that helps if anyone's out there. They're trying to figure out how to get some better flow. Hey, that's great. Hopefully something I say helps you out there. Or if there's anyone who is watching this who maybe a well-established streamer, content creator, you want to share a tip, means highly recommend and highly say do. Without further ado, let's go ahead and put out the question of the day. We'll do, what is your for the month? And that one is going to be kind of tied to what we're going to talk about today. So today, still on the Why series, I want to kind of now operationalize it a little bit more. I know when it comes to thinking about why you do what you do, sometimes you may not have this massive dream like, oh, I want to be a 5 million subscriber content creator. That's a huge dream. That's going to take work. Or, hey, I just want to make an extra $1,000. You know what? Maybe you don't have something big like that, or have a vision. Or I want to create something that impacts people across the world. Who knows? I think one of the best ways, if you're having kind of like a block like that, is to start with some goals. So today we're going to talk a little bit about goals, goal setting, and how a goal can tie into a why, or even turning a goal into something bigger, and some of the breakdown. And still working on the achievement of Veteran Keeper, which is 10 runs. So let's go ahead, without further ado, get started. Audio. Hopefully my audio is coming out good too. I didn't review my audio from last time. So if anyone wants to leave a comment or just some feedback on how the audio is going, especially since I do have a lot of things I got to adjust for microphone settings. So let's get rocking and So for those who haven't played this before, this is Dome Keeper. Very fun game, very light, easy. Love it, it's great. This is, I think, my 4th or 5th run through, so trying to aim for 10 complete for a smaller map. Last time I realized it's kind of hard to do it when you're doing the huge map. It takes it forever. So this is always fun to do some shorter ones. And I haven't used this dome before, so we'll kind of see how it goes. Totally new from the beginning of it. And so in the bottom left, you'll probably see what looks to be like a little heart, and then on the left of that is a monster. When that meter reaches 0, that means the monster's going to get coming. So we got to be ready for them. Oop. Heavy there. So basically this is kind of like a base builder slash resource manager slash like tower defense type game. I gotta probably work a lot more on that charge up, since we want the biggest issues with it. It's charge up taking forever. And then usually what I like to do is kind of go a little bit down and then do almost like a strip mining type of mine shaft. So going across this, because basically if you have a 2x2 box set, so you got 1, 2, leaving those, you can see them on either side, so it kind of helps maximize your work effort in a sense, because right now I can basically see if there's any minerals above me or below me. They have like a little jingles to it. Got a little bit of time. Auto pause. You know what? I will say that is one of the strengths of this dome, although its charge up is going to be a big issue, is it's so much easier to hit air. I noticed with some of the, like especially the artillery tower, that one's kind of hard to hit anything that's flying, even with the minigun. And sword one, I don't even try the sword one. Sword dome, way too difficult for me to handle. Basic one's pretty good too. The Tesla seems kind of fun. So far, digging it. 10 out of 10. Wood Tesla again. Low. Usually my flow to a game like this, you try to put out some actually trying to accomplish here is hopefully saying something that impacts someone's life in between monster rounds when mining. Get on topic. So the topic for today being goals. Why they're basically a crucial part to why you do what you do. Look at it. You essentially have why you do what you do. Why to everyone to always think about that, especially in life, is okay, why are you doing what you're doing? Getting a degree, why you're doing it. You're working as a C-suite executive, why are you doing that? Um, Interesting. When people actually think about why they're doing what they're doing, um, they may realize they might have been doing something not necessarily aligned with actually wanting to accomplish and achieve in life. So when it comes to goals, it's a way you can break down your why. So once you take the time to figure out at least why you want to do something, and even if, like I said before, if you have trouble with that, sometimes it's easier to start with goal. So set up some goals that can become a motivator. I've got some jams going on. What I've found is people who maybe lack energy or enthusiasm probably just haven't developed a why that's strong enough. Even any goals, they just kind of, well, I made my first goal of getting a job, and then that's kind of it. It's kind of, they kind of make it to the top of the summit, and they're like, okay, well, what now? And they kind of start losing themselves to, not knowing what they want to do. So that's why goals can serve as like a why that can get you moving in a direction until you figure out something bigger, or could even lead you to something, maybe your calling in a sense. Ooh, that's pretty neat. This one's also super good. That is nothing. Ooh, gotta get back. And then that's also why I got the monster upgrade. But yeah, so I think a good way to get some starting goals is to work on, actually I'll get to it right after this battle here. Oh, okay, let's see how it handles mobs. Oh, that's pretty sick. And come on. Please. I think when it comes to goal setting, if you've never set goals before and you need just like a general framework, I find that 5 F's and a P is a good way to do it. So that'll be basically 5 F's: faith, family, franchise, fitness, and finance are good places to start. And then the P is personal. That's a general framework areas in your life that you can start making any kind of goal: daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Usually if you haven't made goals before, I'd recommend making just a daily goal or a weekly goal to kind of get in the goal setting attitude. And then once you're kind of set and ready to go, that's when I recommend looking at the big picture and then getting smaller. So let's say, maybe you're a college student, and you're kind of figuring like, well, I don't know what to do after this. Well, then maybe keeping it simple, that you're going to be graduating college in a couple of months maybe, well, you know, one of the things you're going to need to do is get a job. And so you can break that down into some goals. So maybe break it down to a daily goal would be under franchise category. Franchise being like professional or business. So if you're investing, you'd go into there. If you're trying to grow in your job, you'd go there. If you're creating a business asset, you go on YouTubing, twitching, kicking, I guess is that for the kick platform. That would be under franchise. So if you know you're going to need a job, well, maybe the daily goal is applying for one job a day. If you need a little bit more flexibility, maybe it's have a weekly goal of applying for 5 jobs a week. Then you can break that down to 1 job a day, 5 days. So that's how you kind of go from big to small. Like I said, sometimes you just gotta start small and then you discover what the big is. So like, let's take, you know, even this for example. For me, I know that my daily goals is to do some sort of work or research in content creation, whether how to do it better or something new like overlays, anything like that. And doing that at least once a day, and then the weekly goal is 1 stream a week, with kind of like a bonus point if I can get in an extra stream for something else. So that's kind of a good way to break it down. So let's take like a fitness goal. Well, maybe you're trying to lose 20 pounds. So one, identify what it is you want to do. 20 pounds. And then let's look at picking up too much of the AC. Looks like I'm good. There we go. Looks like I'm good. So one of the things to kind of look at is, what do you want? Lose 20 pounds. When do you want it by? 6 months. And then the third step that a lot of people don't know about or haven't really thought about is, what are you willing to give up? So putting out, because you got to give up something to, you know, change. Maybe it's giving up the bad to get the good. Maybe it's giving up the good to get the great. So when you're looking at that, that's just a good thing to think about is, what are you going to have to give up? And then the when you want it by is super important too, because that'll create a sense of urgency, which can act as motivation. Be realistic with it. Don't be like, I want to lose 20 pounds in, you know, 2 days. You know, that just ain't going to happen. And you're going to end up hurting the self-image a little bit. So focus on like, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds in 6 months. And that can be a very powerful motivator. Should be pretty good. And that can be easily broken down to something a day. Walk 15 minutes a day. Yeah, too easy. Eat 2 extra helpings of greens, you know, whatever that may look like. Once a week, you can be, hey, check the weight. Lose. You can do the math breakdown of what 20 pounds over 6 months would be, or you can be like, hey, you know, I think 4 pounds a week is. That's another example of something I may need to go from the bottom up or from the top down. You kind of just figure out what works best for you in that instance. And then you just got to do it, which is the other part that can be kind of difficult, actually doing the actions. That's why Y is so powerful. So now start tying your goals to Y. So you have what do you want, what do you want to buy, what are you willing to give up, and why do you want it? What is it about it that inspires you to go after it? So, once again, kind of going back to this is an example for me. I think one of my bigger goals would probably be, let's say, is followers. Maybe even like 100 followers in 3 months. Is that doable? Nah, I don't know. I have no context for it, but I'll aim for it. What am I willing to give up? Obviously, the time necessary to put in the actions that would get me to that level. Why do I want it? Well, because I know viewership I have. And followers, probably not necessarily the best indicator all the time. But I think it's a good starting indicator, a good lead measure. Lead measure being something that usually turns into doing. So that's kind of like how I would break down some simple goals like that. Making some here game and making some good progress here. So all of that was barely even a first kind of like point or topic to make. Get a little bit more into the game commentary. Absolutely love games like these. I hope you all out there. It's kind of like casual-ish games. Super fun, very chill. Love the kind of indie roguelike style of it all. Love pixel stuff, which is I find like the whole pixel art style is very interesting. Because like if you think about it, it's technically a degradation in graphics. However, I remember playing pixelated games and they didn't have this level of quality of detail. That's just kind of cool to see how even the evolution of pixel games has gone for years. Skedaddle. Some upgrades. Like I mentioned before in my live stream, definitely like to try to eat first. I think for this one, just based on how the playstyle is, might need to get a little bit more. Oh, I forgot about those guys. Not gonna lie, I think the Tesla was perfect one for this map. It's phenomenal. Let's see. Yeah, kind of already covered a little bit about breaking down the big goals and how that works. You can have your milestones. I think you kind of break down goals in two different ways as well. So you break down like a monthly goal into a weekly and daily goal. At the same time, you can break down a really big goal into milestones. So like maybe you think about an even bigger overarching journey. I messed up on my training here. Overarching journey of health. So you're like, hey, I'm looking like I'm at I like easy numbers because I'm not a math person. I'm at 300 and I'm trying to get down to 200. That's a pretty big goal. So break it down like, hey, what are some good milestones to hit? Well, I'm at 300. I think 290 is the first milestone because that represents a big step, which is overcoming the initial inertia of weight loss. Going from maybe either bad eating habits, drinking habits, activity habits to good ones. And that can take a lot. So I think another thing too is understanding that sometimes a small win is really what you got to look for first. So instead of being like, yo, I got to lose 50 pounds, you don't lose 50 pounds, you feel bad. You know, your first milestone should really be like, hey, I got to lose 5 pounds. That's milestone 1 to see if I'm on track. So if by the first month I've lost, 5 pounds, hey, I'm on track. Because then the next month I can lose 10. Uh-oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go ahead and get me a bigger shield. Let's get some health. And bang. So never discount a small milestone because that can actually mean the world to your goal. Some one of these. I remember thing over to the left that needs a water bit. So if you ever play this game, if you see something like that, it's telling you what it needs. It needs a circle. So you can give it a circle. Ooh, supplement. This is a pretty good one because I know we got one basic melee monster. I like this one. Stop the problem rather than just fix something. Another thing too with goals is, kind of look at it like a journey. On every journey, you got some form of detour that can happen. It could be like a life thing or something else entirely. This time. So kind of going down to like the milestones and, hey, glad and the little stuff. Also understand sometimes you take a detour and sometimes it's necessary. Um, you know, got a gnat in my face. Sometimes it might be a bad decision, which can happen. Understanding that like detours are kind of necessary on any journey, especially because it's part of learning. Like all failure is part of learning. We can actually like re-shoot them down. So make sure you understand that like, hey, if you're taking a detour, it's just that. You'll get back on your path. So don't fret and continue to enjoy the journey. Sometimes detours can be fun. Sometimes a detour can be something good. Not everything that takes you away from your goals is 100% bad. Now, if you let it continue to take you away from your goals, it can be. Or if you find yourself continually straying from your goal, you just gotta ask yourself, why? Why am I straying from the goal? And why is this even on my goals? You know, if you're 200 pounds and a bodybuilder, and you're like, I want to get down to 150, and you keep struggling to do so because you love working out, getting that protein in, getting those gains, well, you ask yourself, why did you want that goal to begin with? That detour, whatever that may be, like also not losing any weight or actually gaining weight because you increased all of your 1 rep maxes, and you kind of realize like, hey, maybe this detour is actually telling me I need to change goal. And I love using weight loss goals as like an example because I feel like so many people get stuck on the number, the pounds or like waistline, and they forget that like why do you want to lose weight? Is it to look a certain way? Is it to be able to perform a certain activity? Is it just to be healthy? If it's just to be healthy, then make the goal match the why. Instead of tracking pounds, maybe track how your weights are going in terms of in terms of like 1 rep maxes and things. Because that would probably be a better indicator and one that's going to be more aligned actually trying to accomplish in life. Also, as a quick caveat, I am by no means a fitness instructor or anything like that. Just helping people out with here. Moving along. Then the importance of why is taking action. Helps you take action is having a why powerful enough to get you moving. You so why helps you have bias of action towards your goal. Once again, another importance is because you can have the best idea in the world, but it's all for naught if you don't take action on it. So understanding having the impetus or motivation, purpose that drives you towards taking action is back to the weight loss goal. Sometimes, you know, you need a little help taking that action, and that can come from a couple of things. Some people, it's you went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, hey, if you don't lose weight, you're going to die. Yeah, that's a pretty big one. Maybe if you're the athletic side of things, you're like, man, I feel like I should be able to lift more, or like the stairs shouldn't have winded me as much. Or, hey, I've noticed my run times are getting slower. Those are all like Y's on taking action. In terms of the bigger things, going back to Twitch stream, some of the why behind it is like wanting to make that impact. For me, making an impact is a calling for me. So that's what gives me the energy to keep on going. I either don't have a lot of time or I'm tired. Like, hey, I didn't really plan out my content so well this time, and whatever it may be. So having that why and a goal and action is kind of like the trifecta to making some major changes in your life. Some upgrades up in here. All right, there we go. Here. Back to a little bit of the gameplay. Like I said, usually I like to do digging down, then using like 2 blocks. I ended here, so I go down 2, using 2 blocks as a measurement. But since I have the don't necessarily need to try to search so much. Ooh, a seed. Now what I just picked up there, I believe, if I remember correctly, is a money seed. Super nice and helpful. Go get this guy. Just haste. Usually I plant them near the top so I can just kind of back for him. So I think you just kind of leave them there and you kind of, yeah, there you go. Just kind of, they'll grow over time. So I found all that. Let me shoot up to the top. Now, one of the most helpful tools, hopefully I can find one, is an elevator. So it like pulls up resources for you. It's way easier. You can just drag stuff to the middle and keep going. Boom, I can. Heck yeah. So now I got a lot of good minerals down there. Got the tree going. All good stuff. Quick, I'm not. Nope, I missed something you want. And another thing I wanted to point out in terms of why, so I noticed, remember I said that the first kind of resource I had was the book Start With Why. So the one I've been pulling on for this one a little bit is called The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. Magic Thinking Big is great. I've read it 3 times already, so 2 full read-throughs. And then 1 read-through that was just a chapter or 2, a specific chapter. So phenomenal book, wanted to kind of highlight that as well. Absolutely love it. If you need a strong why, having trouble figuring out how to even think bigger, Start With Why is definitely, or Magic Thinking Big. Huge resource on that. I think some of the most important pieces that's come from it can be literally just like thinking more of yourself in terms of like you can achieve more, you can accomplish, I think. And I think when it comes down to whys and dreams, it's another good reason why to try to think a little bit. Even ask yourself like, how can I do this just a little bit bigger? Stuff down here. So it's starting to take a little bit to get through some of the rock. That's how I have an indicator on, hey, time to upgrading the drill a little bit. It's that speed. Let's have up there. Oh. Sometimes I have one called Drillbert, and it's like a little auto animal that like will while you're gone. Kind of hit or miss with that one. Blast mining is pretty okay. Can be helpful. I think the spires a little. That'll shoot down projectiles before they make it, and after you upgrade it, it can actually do damage through like having split projectiles. Go. There's also another playable character called the Assessor. I'm gonna lose it. He's pretty cool. He's got definitely an interesting mining mechanic. I just kind of prefer the guy I have now. Oh, I missed it. And I got my little cat pet up there. This way should line me up with where I was drilling. Yeah, looks like it. Also, just a little bit of talk of the future for the stream. Might do like a guest stream and my brother come by. Birthday's in 2 weeks, so I might do like a birthday stream. I don't know yet. We'll kind of see how that goes. That's important too. Looking at, I'm starting to get to the point. Kind of need it. Especially the fly speed. Oop. As you get further down, you gotta be able to get up quicker. Usually that's why I love the elevator. I think the elevator is like one of the best modules to get. What? Don't like that. Gotta watch out for those things. Ooh. I actually don't know what that is. Let's find out. Come on. You do, good sir. He does something. Oh! That's what he does. Oh, okay. Duly noted that I should make sure not to accidentally blow myself up. A little bit of healing up. Ooh. These are all kind of like it'll bring me down to the monster stun. Pretty good, but the explosion's pretty. I don't think I've gotten this out. I'll go this out. rocking and rolling. He'll actually drop them, so I can actually just leave him there. Oh, there's some right there. Be able to get. Ooh. Another thing I've noticed too is making sure I keep the content pace up in terms of not putting out too much of the podcast style. Maybe doing a little bit better back and forth between podcast style and gaming commentaries. So let me actually write that down. Another thing too, I definitely take notes in terms of these kinds of ideas that come up midstream. Oops. Some other things too, I might actually look into be doing some cyberpunk next time. Wow, that's disturbing. I never realized it screams. Oop. Oh, that's a hardy boy. How did I get my shield stored? Definitely gotta get some better econ. Those on up. Quick check. That's the other piece I need to figure out is how to have like display on the game. I have to like check Twitch. Now we can see if I got anyone adding or anything like that. Oh, can't do that. I'll drop you. Probably not. Anything over here? Grab one of these. Yeah, I might need to start relying a little bit more on the do work rather than go through and strip mine everything. Probably give me the resources a little bit quicker. Drop off the kids. Charge up and get going. Come into a spot. Out. Woohoo! There we go. Should be able to make it on time. Upgrades up. So all pretty. I think that might be a good cost-effective solution. Oh, cool! I get to keep the fire shot. Yeah, that was pretty dope. Alright, not gonna lie. So, man, I get to keep that shot. Oh, yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it here. So, another good hour stream in. Another fun time. Still absolutely love doing it. I feel like you always get kind of like that sense of like, yeah, I'm actually doing it. Hopefully, for those out there who are getting out there, getting after it, doing the things that they called to do, doing the things that they're went out on a limb or took a risk to do, keep on keeping on. I know y'all got it. So be joyful, be impactful, and go out there and crush it.